I would have never expected this a year ago. Americans are continuing to wake up, even in Massachusetts. Yes, the progressives are becoming more and more desperate. Look at what the progressives are now saying. I mean, they have unloaded every bullet they have in the last 24 hours. John Kerry called the crowds gathering for Republican Scott Brown dangerous and out of control. Also, the new White House communications director, Dan Pfeiffer, this is his phone now, he picked up right up where Mao-loving Anita Dunn left off, attacking Fox News. He said this.
Fox is not a traditional news organization. They have a point of view. That point of view pervades the entire network, both the opinion shows like Glenn Beck and Bill O'Reilly, but also through the newscast during the day. We don't feel an obligation to treat them like we would treat a CNN or an ABC or an NBC or a traditional news organization.
Oh, good. If you won't treat us like you do NBC, I won't have to take a shower every time you leave the building. But the most reasoned analytical discourse has to come from MSNBC's non-biased observer, Mr. Shakespearean actor himself, Keith Olbermann.
In short, in Scott Brown, we have an irresponsible, homophobic, racist, reactionary, ex-new model, teabagging supporter of violence against women and against politicians with whom he disagrees.
Wow. Wow, what a list that is. I mean, they just loaded up every bullet in the gun and just shot it. Good thing these progressives are so inclusive and tolerant of other points of view, because if they weren't, I'm afraid it could get really ugly. But here's the good news. One, Americans aren't buying into it anymore, not even in Massachusetts, home of the Kennedys, and where Ted Kennedy held the seat for over 40 years. Two, nobody cares. You can call me anything. I mean, we've already been called every bad name in the book. And you know what, America? You're still standing. In fact, I have news for you. A year ago, when I started this show, I wanted to figure out a way to make you understand you weren't alone. You see this poster behind me? If you're a new viewer of this show, let me explain. That poster is made out of faces, viewers of this show. I asked people early on, send in pictures of your face to prove to viewers that you weren't alone, and together you can make a mosaic, a beautiful picture. Well, you know what? I don't have to do that anymore. You know you're not alone. In fact, you're in the majority. In Massachusetts, more than half of the voters, 51%, are now not affiliated with a political party. They think they both stink on ice. Nationwide, conservatives make up 40% of the population. Wow, why do you feel alone? Liberals, 21%. A Rasmussen poll testing a three-way generic ballot shows among voters not affiliated with either major party, 33% prefer the Tea Party movement, 25% prefer the Democrats, 12% prefer the GOP. I don't know if you know this, the Tea Party, they don't have any actual candidates. You're not alone, America. You are the majority. A year ago, you didn't know that. Wow, notice the difference a year makes. And here's the best news. You're still growing in numbers, and you're growing in power, as you will possibly see into Massachusetts tonight. You may not. It ain't over until the fat lady sings. And this is one fat lady. Because of this program, we have been trying to focus on the progressive playbook for over the past year. And because of this program, a lot of us have learned an awful lot. I told you that this time would come where they would become desperate and they would do anything. And they would also, I believe, become dangerous to the Republic. They would start with just insulting your intelligence and every last sensibility that you had. But I also told you that if you just do the right thing because it's the right thing, don't pay attention to the party, do the common sense right thing and vote for the person, and don't let the name-calling distract you, we'd be able to get to the real problems. That, as Americans, we as Americans can solve any problem we face. Because Americans aren't racist. We're not hate mongers or homophobes, and we're not violent towards politicians. We're Americans. And Americans do one thing great. They pull together and they solve problems. As far as I'm concerned, The two parties, I mean, really, sinkholes could open up in California and both the Republicans and the Democrats could just be sucked into it and self-destruct, save the republic. God bless America. We've got real problems that we now have to address. I tried to get a hold of this guy for about, 4, 5, 6 years, and he wouldn't speak to me because, well, I was a very small fish at the time, but also he couldn't speak openly because he didn't want to talk to the press because he didn't feel it was appropriate. Well, now he feels at liberty to do just that, and he's been ringing a bell for quite some time. He will show you how big and how bad the problems really are, the problems that we should be talking about if we could stop talking about politics. I don't know about the parties, but it is time for the adults of this country to step in and save the republic. He'll join us next.